Hi guys, and welcome back to my stream. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You could enjoy nature or whatever you also are enjoying. The weather was really fine and I was outside. My feet touched grass and yeah, it was wonderful. And I needed it. You don't I realized that when I did it, when I went outside actually and mingle with the people and yeah, have fun with friends. It was really great. So today, um, this will be a little bit of a special episode, I guess. It's gonna be something that we in the near future, I guess, won't see um, happen. We are now between two games. Yeah, on Friday, we finished Raji, an ancient epic. Um, yeah, a platform, yeah, not platformer, but an action adventure, um, jump and run puzzle game that is set in the ancient India, and the story evolves, or yeah, the story takes place in ancient Indian mythology. It was a really fun game, short too, but fun at the same time. It didn't cost much when I bought it, so I have no regrets doing that, and I enjoyed the ride. And because I didn't expect the game being so short, I couldn't come up right with another game to follow up. I mean, we will play. Next game will be Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. Sorry for my pronunciation. Because I don't want to play many games in between the first and the second part. The first and the second, they are, yeah, I guess they are stronger than the second and the third part connected to each other story wise. And yeah, but I couldn't pull it up. Can you say that? I couldn't manage to yeah, to get the game ready so fast. And that's that's why we are here today, and we are doing we are watching speedruns together. One of my other um, things that I really enjoy about gaming is the fact that you can play a game um, by different means. You can play a game differently, not only in terms of difficulty settings, for example, or mm, a certain mode of playing, but also in terms of how you play the game itself. I mean, yeah, back in the day when I myself played more actively, I I had not many games. I I mean, I had no money, and games were expensive back in the days too. So I had only a few once, but that I played up and down, and I I to the point that some of the games already bored me, and so I I came up with ideas of how I could play the game. for example, the Thief series, the first and the second part of the game series. I set myself specific challenges, for example, not using any force, or just knocking out enemies but not killing them, or try to finish a level without being caught or seen, or yeah, without being noticed whatsoever. So and there, but I didn't. It was it was actually a few years ago. I didn't hear anything about speedruns, or that was something that I discovered a few years ago, and it blew my mind. I couldn't imagine what what you actually can do with a game. Not, of course, not with all games, but there are games that you can play in a way that is, for, I will say, the untrained or normal human being, um, it it looks impossible, or even godlike, if you especially games where you have to do pixel or frame perfect moves or inputs. It's insane, and maybe you can do this for one in one situation if you train that many times, or if you just repeat. Some at some point, maybe through luck, it will happen. It will and you are able to pull that up, to, yeah, to come up with that. And but you have to see that speedruns is not only doing one trick, but it is they do that consecutively through the whole game, through the whole playthrough. There's one, they create basically one perfect situation after the next, and that is so insanely difficult to play every input as perfect as possible. And I was freaking blown away by that. And since then I enjoyed watching now and then speedruns of games that I hold dear to my heart, and that I already know, because I don't, of course, want to spoil myself. So and that is because we are now, today, we are watching two speedruns, or we watch one, and the second we will finish tomorrow, I guess, because it's too long. And the first game will be Raji, and I chose the world record speedrun for that. It is the game will be played. I will say not normally, not the normal way you should play the game. There will be, I guess, abuses. The player will abuse some mechanics in the game to glitch through the game, or partly glitch through the game. This can be funny, or this can be also a little bit confusing, because if you don't notice the run, you probably don't know what is going on. I mean, you have you nothing makes sense, or not much sense. We will see how it is. I don't know. I didn't watch that run before, and the second one I didn't watch either, and that will be Mafia 1, the definitive edition, that game that we played. So I thought it was a good idea, because of course it's in speedrun and the cutscenes will be skipped, but you still get a fair deal of the game. I guess the run is about 1 hour or so, and there is not, the game is not glitched through. It is yeah, the game is played fairly normal. So we will watch this after the Raji speedrun, and I don't think we can finish it because yeah. Let's see. No, it's not an hour. It's an hour 48 or so, but in-game time, so it is still about 2 hours long. But I'm really hyped for that, because the speedruns that I watched, or the latest that I watched, that was already a couple months ago, I guess. I can't remember, and I mean, yeah, it's, and I never watch them actively while doing commentary or streaming all day. So don't expect me to being a good commentator. I can't. I mean, when I watch speedruns, I watch them on Rocket Beans, on the gaming channel of Rocket Beans. It's and there is commentary to it by the by the um, by the player who plays the game, and by persons who watch that speedrun and comment on it, so that you as a viewer knows what is going on. I try to do that, but I guess it's more about yeah, repeating the game in another way, and yeah, because it's fun doing that, right? So let me see real quick where I have to position my avatar not get in the way of the overlay of that speed running VOD. Let's see, I have to position myself on the left side, I guess. One moment, please. That I can do when I'm. Can I do that? I try something. So let's see if that works. Nope. Okay, I guess maybe a little bit more down and there. So that looks good. Okay, so we will check for the highest quality, of course. 720p is the highest in this run. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Maybe to save, maybe it's because of the frame rate, right? So that the game will run in a specific settings the best. Sometimes you have to run a game, I will say, on shit graphic settings in order to maximize the frame rate, which is of course in most cases, if not in all cases, a crucial point in speedrunning. You in the most cases want a frame rate as high as possible. I guess there are of course situations or speedruns that don't use or maybe it's not, it doesn't matter, or you want a specific frame rate, I don't know, but for that it seems like I mean, there's a reason why this is on 720p, I guess. So I will start the stream. Grab yourself something to eat and to drink, or just lean back, relax, and enjoy as I do. So interesting that this game is played with a keyboard and mouse. I hadn't expect that. I didn't expect that. Maybe it's because of some inputs. And you can see on the right side of the screen the from top to bottom the different sections of the game, which I guess there are loading screens or something that divides that sections, and beneath that you can actually see the input, so you know what buttons the gamer or the which plays the game or the speedrun is pressing. That is not something that you will see. It's a nice bonus. It is not. There are speedruns where you only see the time running down or running up. I mean, running up, of course. But I like actually seeing what inputs are made. So, and yet now we are in the segment. In the first segment, it's called. Sorry, I didn't read that. In the ruins, that is basically the tutorial section.
She walks boldly into a dark cave. She leaps chasms. She stands fearless before a goddess.
And it seems like that is already something, some inputs. Yeah, now, yeah, that is, yeah, now the Raji is out of bounds, which means not restricted by the boundaries of the level anymore. And if you now be able to reach a specific point in that area, in that loading, I mean in the area that is loaded in that segment, in that specific segment, you can basically, it's not possible for all games, but there are games, and I guess that's one of them, you can skip an entire area by that and plunge literally into the next. It is all a matter of how the game is built and how the different loading the different areas are connected. How that connection is programmed. So right, the levels can literally build beneath up in each other or besides each other, and you never will see that when playing the game, because you can't not like now bounce out. But yeah, some games allow that, and that is when things get funny. I mean, there are also games which are super crazy with glitches. So in that extreme that you, as a normal viewer, a normal person who don't has context information what is going on, has basically no clue what happens. But here you can see or guess fairly well. I mean, we are now out of bounds and try to reach maybe the next loading point or maybe the end of the level itself, and we have to the player has to, so now maybe, okay, and now he or she is in a specific position and loads the game again and from new, and the game is now confused maybe and thinks we are in the next section, the next segment, and you basically start, you could start in a completely different point in the game. Yeah, but what
You are surprised?
what's a little bit nerving to me, unnerving, is that freaking mouse cursor that you see. But maybe yeah, okay, that game is played with the mouse, so of course you need that the cursor.
The route is open to the fortress of Jeddah. She is indeed strong, Durga.
Sorry, I spilled some of
I
my
hope
drink.
she's strong enough to bear what she finds inside. The fortress will be a challenge for her, but she is growing into her power. I think Mahabalasura and his demons will soon regret the capture of her brother.
Beware of too narrow a focus, Durga. If Mahabalasura triumphs here, then what difference will it make in the long view? You must accept that some things are beyond the ability of mortals to affect.
Okay, I'm back again. That is why I love watching speedruns that actually got commented or get have a has a have a commentary, because if you are not in the scene, and by that I don't mean, I mean even if you are quite familiar with speedruns, there are certain games that if you have no additional information, it is not easy to follow and not easy to know what is going on actually. And then also there are tricks or I say inputs, like specific movement, for example, that are really difficult, and but at the same time they can be performed in a fraction of a second, and if you don't know what the player just did or just tried to do, it maybe you will oversee it or maybe don't recognize it at all, and can't. I mean, if it's explained what's actually happened here and how difficult something is, then you can't appreciate it fully, I guess. So the fight was skipped, I think. That was a intentional death there to get ASAP to the boss fight. And by loading again, I guess the fight is done. The fight, yeah. So they basically, the boss fight was skipped entirely by that maneuver.
I swear I will find you.
Do I ask too much of her?
Time again will tell.
And I get no. This game will be mostly out of bounds, I guess. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense why the run is only about 30-40 minutes long, right? So even if the game is fairly short, it can't be played through in a normal in a normal way in that short time. So I guess we won't see any fights whatsoever. Maybe the end boss, or I don't know. I guess as long as that out of bounds trick works to get from one end of a level to the other while doing something else, I mean, everything else will cost time. Much more time solving puzzles, fighting enemies. And that in this way we can avoid all of that by just walking a little bit in the air and feeling good. And maybe it's not easy doing that. You see he or she is pressing the direction of the movement is changed every now and then, and I guess it's either a specific route that is taken, or it is the movement itself that keeps Raji from falling down or glitching through. And so yeah, I'm not sure entirely. But I can say that just because you are out of bounds, that does not automatically mean that you can walk or fly directly from A to B. There are in many cases only a few, or only certain places or certain routes or parts of the level, even in the air, where you actually can walk or do movement things. And if you are missing that parts, the character, they basically can happen. It can happen everything. The character could fall down, or the character could glitch. I don't know, somewhere else, or just could die, and that basically everything is possible. Depends on the game, of course, but yeah, in most cases, or that cases that I saw back in other speedruns, the character would just fall from the air, fall down and die, so is stuck in between the level, the actual level you could. But now I guess that fight, she has to fight. Let's see. I'm very interested how you can maybe shorten that fight.
How can this
What? What the? Oh, okay. I guess that that is supposed to resemble fireworks.
Who holds her brother's life in his palm.
And I can't the game is in that quality. I can't improve it. It's what it is. It's 720p. But that doesn't matter. So, and for those of you who haven't watched a speedrun yet, the colored time notions right next to the segments in the upper right corner of the screen. Basically for runes it says plus 22.9 that are actually notions of either a time, I mean the time that is that you see next to it that is written in white letters. So for runes 6:54, that is the time the segment was done before, or that is could also be the time of the world record. And the numbers to the left, the colored numbers, they indicate if that segment was done faster or slower, and they're yeah, as you can see, the ruins in the fortress, I guess they took more time than in the last run. So, and for Hiranya it is the opposite, minus 18. So he or she, the player saved in that segment 18 seconds,
That is a demon battle totem.
which is a lot,
Summons a multitude
and
of creatures. Raji must beware.
which could be an indication that that run is not a very popular one, in terms that not many people will do this run, will try to run that game. Or it is still an early, I don't know. I couldn't find any run that on YouTube that is that was faster. That is faster than this one. So there are games. For example, what was it that I watched? I guess it was some kind Quake 1 or 2 story campaign. I don't know. There are games where that over the decades, was the runs of that games were perfected that well that you can't do specific parts of the game any faster. There are literally milliseconds or even hundreds. I mean, not there are so many, so little, so minor improvements that decide in the end of the if the run is world record or not. And that could be and if you are in a range where you can't I don't know, where you can't do a run let's say a minute faster than the run before, but maybe just a few seconds or even a few milliseconds faster, then at some point luck plays an enormous role, right? So because humans can't do anything from start to end perfect, that would be impossible. So you have to be lucky at some point and have you have to have lots of patience, doing something over and over and over and over and over again.
The mystic homes, they burn. Gulu,
But there are records that that was
you must be safe. I pray that you're safe.
that I don't know, that were beaten after only 20 years or so. That is insane. I mean, it could also mean, of course, that not many players today will play that game, and of course the record is not yeah, is what it is, and is not defeated. But there are other games where countless of players try their luck and they just cannot beat certain world record. And that is where things get interesting, because there are games that like this one. Take this one as an example. Someone had to find out, some person had to find out that you actually can do this in the game, can glitch out of bounds and can do this in the game, okay? That is an easy example. I mean, that is some trick that you will see in other games too, and in many other games too that are run. But there are also games with such specific tricks, such specific inputs you have to do in order to make something happen, something work, that save you time. That is, you can't find that out just by playing the game normally and and hoping for some random inputs, right? So you have to basically analyze the game, and there are games where tricks were found literally decades later, of decades of running that game and still not finding that specific trick. And that is totally insane. There are tricks that save literally only a few seconds. But guess what? If they are found, players try to abuse them, and by doing so set a new world record. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of work and patience. I couldn't do that. But I'm appreciate the players, the persons which are doing that and enjoying it. And yeah, there are speedruns that are totally boring to watch. I mean, it depends. It's of course, as most things, it's a personal it's a personal thing. If you don't like, for example, speedruns where glitches like that happen, then of course maybe that one is not your cup of tea. But that was what we are watching right now. That is not crazy in terms of speedruns. That is, I would say, fairly normal. I mean, parts of the game are played completely normal. The player is just skipping here and there parts of the level and avoiding fights. So it is still you can still follow the game in some way or another. And it makes things, of course, easier if you played that game or if you know the story of the game. And I'm eager to watch the Mafia speedrun. So remember that part. I couldn't run. You just can walk in that part. You can't jump. You can't do anything. You can't, at least not now. And such situations slow down the runs, of course, because you are forced to move slowly and have not complete control over your character. And now watch what the player is doing. It seems like that is the fastest way of moving forward by hopping. But not also hopping, but also slightly changing the direction while doing so. And it could save only a few seconds in the end of the the way from point A to B, but it will be enough to be faster than in the run before if you just would walk or just would run. So everything that you possibly can manipulate in the game is taken into consideration and for your advantage to beat the game faster than before. There are also categories. You cannot just do anything you want. That right now, what we are watching is an any percent category, which I think basically means that there are rules for each category of speedrunning, and in any percent it is you have to somehow reach, I guess, the end of the game. You can Google it, I'm not sure. But you see in that behind any percent there is written standard 1 as 1k, so maybe there are a subcategory. There is also a category where you can't or are not allowed to avoid glitches, so you have to a certain degree play the game like a normal person would do when playing the game, not doing crazy things like getting out of bounds or something. There are different categories, and yeah, so everyone can enjoy, and there is no master category or category that if you, I mean, of course maybe there are some categories that are easier to master or to do than others, but there is no gold standard category that you have to follow so that your run is recognized as as a speedrun. You just stick with one of the categories and the rules that are defined by the community for that category, and you are good to go, and it is completely on the same level. It's not it's not getting. That was fast. So of course there are some categories that are more popular than others by the audience or by the players themselves. And any percent is basically, you could say, the standard category of speedruns in terms of being the most run category in any kind of game. So yeah, that was the run basically. Now the game is finished, because now we reached the end. At that point you can't do anything else. It is basically just a cutscene, and that is where the time stops, and yeah. And I guess I got it wrong with the numbers. The red ones with plus 22.9 and 33.6 must be the time that was saved in that segments. So in Ruins it was 22.9 seconds faster than before. Yeah, I guess that, or I'm wrong. I don't know. Normally it is the time that is saved will indicate is colored in green, and the time that is lost is colored in red. So there you see it. There's a category with also any percent, but not no major glitches. And then there is that TAS speedruns. That is yeah, programmed. That is a programmed speedrun, not performed by a human being, but by an, I will say, software or program. So you have to find out which is the best possible way of playing the game in one category from start to end. And then you have to program that, and that takes a shitload of time. And but then in the end you have a perfect run, something that a human being could never be never achieve. It's super interesting watching those runs, because there are many of them where the inputs that are taken, they are so fast and so precise. It is not possible by I mean, you as a human being can't possibly do so much inputs, for example, in a specific time window. And that is crazy, if what you can do with certain games, if you were able to pull that off, if you were able to do the specific inputs in the specific order in a short amount of time. Some games if you watch some of those speedruns, some games are just completely over the top, really getting crazy. So okay, let's see what any percent means. Okay, in short, any percent speedruns means to reach the end credits of a video game as fast as possible with any percentage of the intended gameplay completed. Okay, with that explained, it may leave you wondering how is this different from any other speedrun. The main takeaway is that any percent runs do not typically have restrictions or requirements. So you could basically do glitches that are forbidden in other categories. So you just have somehow make it to the credits. No matter how, you just have to do that. And anything that you can do to reach the credits as fast as possible is allowed. So you could maybe, I guess, even hack the game to some degree, I guess. Of course not before playing the game, but there are games where you can, if you do a specific inputs in specific order, literally reprogram the game while playing it and loading, for example, the credits. So yeah, without playing the game, you beat the game. There are really crazy things, but in the most cases, for normal games that are not so broken, it just means that there are glitches that got abused. Okay, before we start the next one, the Mafia 1 Definitive Edition speedrun, I'll do a short break. I have to pack out my laundry. I'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes, I guess. So stay tuned. Okay, all right. Nice, I'm back. Sorry, it did a little bit. Let's see. Notifications. Okay, nothing to get wild. Over. Okay, so let's just jump back into the game, into the speedrun, I mean. And let's start. So as you can see, it's the current world record. And it was over a year ago. So yeah, and it's still, but here it says 20% is officially dead. I don't know what that means. Maybe the category itself isn't run anymore. I don't know. So we will watch a speedrun of the definitive edition, the one that we've played. And yeah, you see it by the length of the video. It's over 2 hours, so we will start today and continue tomorrow, and after that we will smoothly continue with Mafia 2. So yeah, let's just hop into it, shall we? So I tuned.
J'ai un flingue pointé sur toi.
Maybe
S'il
we
nous
can
rattrape, on est mort,
do
mais
it
tu
a
t'en
little bit
sortiras pas non plus.
more louder,
Eh, je veux pas d'emmerde, moi.
like that.
C'est un peu tard pour ça. Roule. Mais comment ils ont pu savoir qu'on serait là? On s'en fout maintenant, il faut qu'on les sème.
So I'm not sure where to
On a combien de
position my
voitures au
avatar,
cul?
but I
Une
guess
seule.
it's
Mais ça va pas durer.
fine in the left bottom corner of the screen.
Je crois qu'on les a semés. C'était qui ces
Because
gars?
on the right
Tu
is
poses
going
trop
on
de
too
questions.
much
Il faut traverser le
already.
fleuve. Prends le pont de Giuliani. Bon d'accord.
And if
Ta jambe, ça
sorry.
va aller?
as you can see, or
Quand on
better,
rentre, j'irai chercher le doc.
as you
Je
can
sais
hear,
pas, ça va peut-être
the
s'arranger.
game is played in
Ouais, bah
French.
c'est lui qui nous dira. Hey, je te vois en train d'écouter le taxi. T'as pas le droit d'écouter. En voilà d'autres.
Maybe the player, the speedrunner is French, or maybe it has to do something with the game. There are
Je connais
games
des raccourcis, ça va les
that
ralentir.
are
Démerde-toi comme tu veux.
faster
Mais sème-les.
when it's played in a specific language. But I can't imagine that is the case with this one, because the subtitles are in English, so must be because the player is French, I guess. But yeah,
Merde, je crois qu'on les a vraiment énervés. Putain, mais qu'est-ce qu'on fait? S'accrocher et prier.
with the language is just one part of the game that you can
J'ai
manipulate.
jamais fait ça avant. Moi non plus. Bon,
For example,
maintenant,
in
Little Italy.
games
T'as pas
like
fini ta
Pokemon,
course.
where you have to read
J'ai rien vu
or
venir.
in
Tu crois qu'il a tout
or
balancé?
skip
Je crois que tu devrais la fermer. Et qu'on en
many
reparlera quand on sera au
many
bar.
of text boxes, and some of them you can't skip. It depends what language
On
you
approche.
set before starting the game, because there are languages that tend to need more words to express a certain idea than
Après la
others.
virée nocturne avec les gars de Salieri,
At
je me
least
suis remis au boulot.
yeah,
Mais
the
c'était pas
most
pareil.
cases.
Quand on est taxi, on passe pas mal d'heures avec ses pensées.
So you will often see in that games that language, the specific language is set.
Conduisez ou vous lambinez?
Je conduis, madame. Je conduis toujours.
And in most cases,
Alors, on va où?
it's in
L'église Saint-Michael. Et
some
vite.
kind of Asian language like Japanese or Chinese.
Et soyez prudent.
Je suis toujours prudent au volant.
Vous seriez bien le premier.
They don't need many signs to express an idea or a word. They only need one sign for a word. For example, in Chinese, but also in Japanese, could be faster. The text boxes, yeah, you
Alors,
don't
vous allez à
need so
l'église?
many signs or so many
On est déjà dimanche?
characters to
Regardez
fill
la
a
route, s'il
text
vous
box.
plaît.
So the text box will be filled completely in a much shorter time than
Vous
using
êtes
another
sourd.
language
Je vous ai dit d'aller moins vite.
where you need multiple words to express an
vite,
idea
vous
or
allez nous
to build a
tuer.
sentence.
Arrêtez-vous là, près du parc.
That is one example, but I guess here it is because the player is French.
Vous êtes
as
allé
said
trop
before.
loin. Retournez à l'église.
So that would explain why the subtitles are turned on, so that you can at least understand what is being talked.
J'en ai assez vu comme ça. Au revoir.
So the speedrunner community is
Allez, là, il me faut une course.
international, which means English is the way to go, and basically all the terms are in English. Which makes it much easier sticking to one language
Ça roule, je connais ça la
for
vitesse.
all. Yeah.
Vous allez vous balader?
Arrivez-vous devant la gare, on regarde peut-être?
Non, pas vraiment. hein. Je tombe que sur des trous du cul, moi,
vous savez
aujourd'hui.
ça? Arrêtez le taxi.
Allez, au
So
prochain.
Chauffeur dans cette ville.
now we are just at the
Je
beginning
tombe
of the
que sur des
game,
trous
and
du cul, moi, aujourd'hui.
it doesn't look too spectacular.
prochain.
You know, the first mission, you have to get acquainted with the game mechanics.
Oh merde, vous avez une sale gueule.
Eh ben, je bosse depuis 5 heures.
Ooh, red
Et vous,
flag.
c'est quoi votre excuse?
Je picole.
Nice song
m'étonne
and
pas.
nice
Bon, on va
album
où?
too.
L'Italie, 21e rue.
Bon,
Billy
je dis
Talent's
pas
a
aux
great
flics que
band.
vous puez l'alcool. Et vous leur dites pas pour les excès de vitesse. On fait comme ça?
Marché conclu. Vous avez eu des bonnes courses aujourd'hui?
Ouais, un peu. Mais on en a jamais assez.
Les gens ont plus de fric
So
pour prendre le
for
taxi depuis la
the
crise.
bigger games, for the
C'est la
I mean,
merde.
for the
La
games with
seule
an
raison
open
qui
world,
fait que je prends le taxi,
kind of
c'est parce
open
que
world
je
like
suis
that game,
sous et que je suis
you
faible.
can expect speedruns to be yeah.
On y est presque. Continuez jusqu'à l'angle, s'il vous plaît.
I don't. There is
Eh,
no
mon cousin
rule
a un
or so,
stand
but
de café pas
it
très
is
loin. Dites-lui que Lucio vous envoie.
it is in many cases
T'es
about
d'accord?
1 or 2 hours
Merci.
at least.
Je le ferai peut-être.
And then there are also speedruns that are exceptionally faster by some crazy shit. That is yeah, that can be done in that games. But then there are also games where you almost can do nothing to skip or do something exceptionally fast or so you are basically to stick to playing the game as it is intended to be played, and you just have to do that in a most perfect way. And so there are speedruns that will last several hours, and you can imagine the longer a speedrun, or I mean, as a thumb of rule, the longer a speedrun takes time, of course, the more errors or misses or bad inputs and bad luck can happen, and the more you can mess it up. And yeah, at the when looked at it from a different angle, or from the counter perspective, the longer a speedrun takes time, the more you have to pay attention to every little detail. You must, I mean, yeah, it must be done. Everything must be done perfect. And if a run takes, let's say, about 4 or 5 hours, which there are runs that actually take that long, that is fair. That is insane. You have to be 100% concentrated all the time, or the most of the time, and doing everything basically perfect. That is quite difficult, to say the least. And then one little failure, or one little detail, maybe bad luck, something that you can't control or don't have control over, can ruin your complete run. That can be very frustrating.
C'est pas ce qui lui prend à Ralph de nous fourguer cette bagnole. Moi, je voulais te montrer un peu comment on flambe, et toi, tu conduis une tire que ma mère aurait pu acheter il y a 20 ans. Connaissant
So
Ralph,
I would say
il a dû la voler dans
2
son
hours for a run is
C'est pas désagréable de changer après
in
le
terms
taxi.
of showcases.
Pas la peine d'être poli. Cette caisse est une poubelle.
It's fairly long.
C'était des whisky dans le camion.
Normally, you don't have an audience or a crowd
Vous trafiquez au grand jour.
that watches that
Normalement,
long.
non. Mais c'était la
I
première
mean,
livraison.
yeah,
et
there
les
are
flics viennent
some
pas fouiner sur notre
games,
territoire.
but the games
Le type qui
themselves
possède les
are
voitures
popular,
que tu veux
or
cramer,
the runs
il a
of the
plus
game,
d'amis dans la
so
police que nous.
that is an
Tant
exception.
qu'on reste prudent, on craint rien.
Normal showcases, I
Suffit de
would
pas jouer
say,
au con. Tu sais,
are
pour le
at
whisky
maximum
canadien qui
about
circule. Si t'en veux une bouteille, dis-le
30
moi.
hours,
On en stocke pour la famille.
not 30
bois pas
hours,
beaucoup de
30
whisky.
minutes, 1 hour or so.
Avant, je tournais au jean de contrebande, mais c'est fini. Ce truc-là, c'est pas bon pour moi.
Ah, mais avec ce whisky, tu risques pas de devenir aveugle. C'est de la qualité supérieure.
C'est bon à savoir. Merci.
C'est pas seulement la qualité de l'agnole. C'est l'endroit où tu la livres. Ces dames raffolent de ces endroits. Les meilleures tables, la meilleure bouffe, les plus belles poupées. Ça, c'est la belle vie.
Pour le moment, je veux juste ruiner la vie des salopards qui ont ruiné la mienne.
And there are also
Ouais, je comprends.
parts of the game like
Puis,
that one where you
c'est un coup à se retrouver dans les embrouilles.
where you can do nothing, you just have
C'est
to
le
wait
type qui s'apprête à foutre le feu au parking de Morello qui me
for
parle d'embrouille.
the
Et
scene
là,
to
pour me
end,
protéger, ça va aller.
and that can
Ça tourne
be
mal. Essaie de pas
nerve-wracking.
montrer ton visage. Ou alors tabasse-les jusqu'à leur faire oublier ta tronche.
I mean, not for the normal audience, I guess, that see the run for the first time, maybe. But if you've done that, let's say 100 times,
Yann Morello fume et taille le bout de gras devant.
and you have to wait
Belle bande de feignasses.
few minutes
Toujours un
on
guignol
certain
qui regarde.
times in the
C'est
game,
vraiment un débile profond.
yeah, you can imagine
Allez,
that
par ici.
at some
Demande
point
discrètement et qu'on défonce les bagnoles.
it will
Envoie un
bothering you,
message.
because you just want to
Attends, pourquoi tu viens?
continue
Pour voir si tu vas te faire buter.
and not being held back by the game or by some, I don't know, cutscene
Ça
or
s'embrouille.
that you can't skip.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire s'embrouille? Comme ça. Si personne voit nos tronches, personne Personne cherche à nous descendre. Passe cette porte et monte sur le toit. Je vais occuper ce guignol pendant que tu te faufiles derrière les tueurs ici. Je suis un expert en diversion.
a réussi à se mettre à dos plein de pieds.
And on the left top corner of the screen, you can see the actual frame rate, and it could be that the game is blocked at a certain frame rate. There are games that you just can't play at, I don't know, let's say 300 FPS. There is a software lock, but yeah, it could be also that 80 frames per second are the perfect frame rate playing that game. I don't know. But we've played that, and did you see how fast he destroyed the 2 cars and take out the 2 guys? It's yeah, it's refreshing to see that you can beat the game that way by using just the normal mechanics. And, I mean, just playing it. That is always something that you can enjoy when watching somebody play a game. I mean, remember the old Counter-Strike days, watching the pro gamers.
Was a weird turn.
Yeah, that was really awesome back in the day, where you really could see, or especially if you played that game yourself, you have a feeling of when you watch someone play that is really good. You have that feeling of that skill that it takes to be that good, and that is also the case for speedruns, I guess. If you play the game yourself and you have an idea of the game and how it behaves if you play it, if you control it, if you then it's really cool to see someone running that game and basically knows what to do in order to make it like a piece of cake.
Tu penses que c'est une vie pour toi?
T'en penses quoi, toi?
Oh, c'est moi qui pose des questions. J'adore ça, les questions.
Ça m'étonnerait que toi et Sam sortiez tous les jours défoncer les voitures sur les parkings.
Elle est où la caisse que je vous ai donnée?
On l'a larguée. Mais pourquoi? C'était un veau. Celle-là aille mieux.
Une meilleure voiture avec une vitre cassée?
Un peu d'air frais.
So now we are already we already finished a third of the game.
On dirait bien, ouais.
I mean, yeah, the cutscenes themselves are really long. If you just skip the cutscenes and play the game, the rest of the game, you save a great deal of time already. But I guess it's just the beginning of the game now. We are getting in the mid game, and I guess now it's more about being skilly, if that words exist.
Désolé pour le retard.
Assieds-toi.
Hey Tom, Vinny dit qu'il a quelque chose pour toi. Va le voir. J'imagine qu'il va vouloir te baratiner avec une histoire bidon d'un type qui l'aurait buté il y a 20 ans de ça.
ça. Et j'ai pensé à toi. Tu t'es déjà servi d'un flingue?
J'ai déjà fait du tir au pigeon à la foire.
Ouais, ça compte pas. Pointe-le sur la cible là-bas. Ok, montre-moi comment tu recharges. Ouvre le barillet et c'est parti. Dernière chose, le montre pas à tout le monde. Cache-le à ta ceinture. Bon pour le service. Quand ça
Oh,
commence
sorry,
à
I
tirer,
was
mets-toi à couvert.
just
C'est bon
AFKing,
pour ton froc.
Merci,
trying to
Vincenzo.
fix that
C'est
freaking
très
Twitch
gentil.
app. I don't know what is wrong with that shit app. Sorry, I just I don't see any. I mean, the app is open and I'm in the stream manager, but basically I can't see shit. And sometimes the notifications won't work, or they work but I don't see them in the app.
D'abord, on va voir Al. Il tient une boulangerie sur Longman Street. Tu connais? Ouais, je connais. Allez.
I try to watch the stream by the app. With the app. Yeah, that seems
Tu nous
to...
regardes faire aujourd'hui, Tom. Quand tout se passe bien,
It's
c'est un vrai
strange,
plaisir. Mais quand il
it's not
s'énerve,
optimal.
faut être prêt à réagir. Ok?
The app is
Tu
not
fais comme
optimal.
moi. On poirote. Et moi, je déteste poireauter.
You got a feeling, or you it's not meant to maybe the app is good for watching streams but not for
Fais bien tout ça.
doing them.
C'est très bien.
It's supposed to be done on a PC
Personne te charge des poux? Y a pas de voyou qui t'ennuie?
Non,
with a streaming software,
Bien. Donc t'as le pognon.
oui, il est derrière.
but because I don't have a second monitor and I don't want a second one,
Ça marche au ralenti ce mois-ci, Sam.
I have to use my smartphone as a second screen to be able to watch I don't know, notifications, not notifications, yeah, everything that is going on, chat and activities, everything that happens basically. But the app is not designed or not, yeah, optimized in doing that. Freaks me out. Maybe I have to get a second.
Sam, celui-ci est pour moi.
T'es sûr?
Sûr de sûr.
Après le crash, il a tout perdu. Tout sauf moi.
Il va s'en occuper tout seul?
But
Bah,
other
quand
than
Polly est
streaming,
sur les
I
nerfs, il vaut mieux le laisser se défouler.
don't think I will
Faut pas
need
trop
a
le
second
contrarier,
one.
quoi. Il est comme ça. Tu peux parfois l'entendre à sa voix. Dans ce cas, laisse-le jouer au cowboy, ça le rend heureux. Ouais, ben le neveu de Jen aurait mieux fait de rester au lit. Quand il est lancé, Polly s'arrête jamais. Une fois, on a rendu visite à un tailleur de Holbrook. Il a fini en fauteuil roulant. Alors voilà. Eh ben, c'est du rapide.
Non, il manque plus.
Au motel. Le neveu de Jen paiera la semaine prochaine. Avec des intérêts.
Et comment il va?
Il va bien.
Et sa boutique aussi?
So there you see it.
J'ai vu quelques
It
tasses.
says
Attends-nous ici, Tom.
minus
On revient dans pas
for
longtemps.
Running Man, for
D'accord.
example, for the segment Running Man, minus 2.5, which means there in that segment 2.5 seconds were saved. It was done 2.5 seconds faster than in the previous run. And of course, if you sum that up in the end, it makes a difference. And you can see the world record in that. Look how fast he kills people, it's insane. The world record is And at that time, the run was done by 1 hour 49 minutes and
J'ai vraiment compris ce que ça voulait dire de
58
bosser avec ces types.
seconds.
C'est à ce moment que j'aurais dû me tirer, mais c'était trop dur de redevenir un pigeon.
Yeah. So of course, if you play a game and speedrun it, in nearly all cases you will set the difficulty
Hej, Kozny, thank you for Jill.
too easy to the most to the easiest difficulty. Yeah, because yeah.
All right, I'm digging this.
It will take less time to kill enemies that way in that game, for example, and everything that helps saving time is appreciated, is welcome. I try not to speak when he speaks, when the player speaks, because yeah, as it seems he comments too while playing.
C'est bon à savoir.
But you see, what is he doing? Minus 23.4 seconds in the ordinary routine.
Bobby, c'est toi? Ouais.
Quite.
On peut emmener ta voiture au garage. Il y a de la place.
Time
Les amis de Ralphie sont mes amis aussi.
very good.
Ouais. Tant que tu paies.
There was a huge time save.
Demain matin, ils vont arriver. De toute la ville. Ils trafiquent de l'agneau.
So if you are wondering why he got so fast
Ce week-end, il n'y aura pas meilleur endroit pour faire
to
une
that
charmante
place
rencontre.
he is right now,
Me
it's
lance pas sur le
because
sujet.
you can skip certain driving scenes, I guess, and it's not a bug or something, it's a feature of the game that will allow you to just skip boring, quote-unquote boring driving through the city when nothing happens, to get faster from A to B. It's fast traveling, and yeah, yeah, basically it's fast traveling method. I enjoyed driving through the city, but yeah, you know, it's I can totally understand if people don't want to do that. And now look how perfect the car is driven. I mean, you know how we played it, right? So it's crazy that like that car, it's so uncontrollable if you are fast. Oh, sorry. He's trying his best, just driving fast and hoping that yeah, everything will go smoothly. Because if you drive that fast, yeah, it is natural, or you will save a lot of time. Yeah, that's logical. So you drive a little bit more risky, because you potentially could save much time by doing so, if everything turns out well. And in the most cases it seems to be okay.
Hey, Peter.
And that segment is interesting because now you can't accelerate the whole time, because if you do so, the motor is overheating and destroyed. So you have to. So let's see how he is doing that. Yeah. Okay. The right time he is stopping, accelerating. Oh my heart, I can't
Yo,
watch
start
this.
acting for the jail. Cannot really watch chat right now.
Oh sorry, yeah, you can't watch the chat while doing that. That's... It's so it affords so much skill or so much attention. You basically, because you are so fast, you can't allow yourself.
Holy fuck! How am I so early here? That's like 20 seconds. What? What? How is this so fast?
Yeah, yeah, you have.
I don't understand this.
That's why it's the world record, I guess.
This is literally the best I'd ever fucking got. I crashed on the way there, but shouldn't be that much of a deal. I don't know. Let's see how the fucking race goes.
I guess he's French. Not because of his accent, I couldn't. I mean, I'm not
if I get
native,
sub 420 here,
but you
this
can hear
shit
that
is fucking
he's maybe not native,
lit.
like me. But yeah, actually, you did this. It is yeah. There you have it. He's basically driving over the
yeah.
beside the track, because it will not make much of a difference. But oh my god, how he is able to drive that car. It's perfect.
Oh, never mind, that was pretty slow.
Okay, yeah. Whatever. I had to do it, I guess, 5 times or so. I don't know. 5 or 6 times. Crazy! How? What the fuck? What is he? And now imagine...
I'm thinking if the manual transmission here wouldn't be better. Or overall just better in the run, because you kinda need the lower gear on the turns there. That's pretty relevant. That was a bad turn again. I don't think this is a 420. Stop.
Yeah, I imagine that doing by that, yeah, that is done by an IA, AI,
yeah.
Sorry. If every input is perfect, that can make much difference. There are games, don't get me wrong, that are basically already, at least in some sections or segments, are so perfected or so, yeah, that even an AI could not make much difference of when, yeah. Because of the limitations of the inputs, for example. Just watch watch one of the great speedruns. And if you want to see really crazy stuff, then watch Portal speedruns. That's insane. But you have to play the game first to understand, or at least get an idea what is going on. It is so crazy that he is basically the only one on the track right now. I mean, the other ones are so far behind. They are not even close, not even in sight, not even on the minimap. You can see them. I didn't. I couldn't imagine.
Holy fuck! It was sub 420. What the hell? How? That was bad. What is this fucking split, man?
Maybe that is why the comment.
If only I didn't crash on the way to Lucas,
say,
this would have been fucking top.
Maybe that's why it says that is officially that the category. Maybe it's somehow bugged, or I don't know. Or somehow it depends too much on factors, on variables that you can't control, that you can't manipulate. This could be also the case. And that is where the term bad or good RNG comes from. RNG means random number generated.
But that ain't happening.
So basically, something in the game happens that you can't control, and if you are lucky, it will save time, and if you are not lucky,
it's illegal to save this much time.
Is, yeah. The opposite will happen.
Yeah, he's fucking. He's
time.
dead. He needs to sleep, you know. Letting him go to a fucking strip club would be... Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do.
And there are stream games, speedrunners that play a game and run it over and over and over again, perfectly well, knowing that there are some sections in the game where they can't where they are not in control of specific situations or specific things that happens, and that could mean either they save a lot of time, or it could mean quite the opposite. So, and they are literally farming that game or grinding that game and doing one run after another.
Nearly crashed into the pole, that would have been bad.
Just in the hopes of hitting that one run where everything is as it is supposed to, and everything turns out perfect.
Alright, this is insane.
And by that I mean they play the game 10 times or so they play it hundreds of times. And yeah, just to get one, just to get that one run that will change everything. So it's not always a thing about being good or super skilled. Could be also that, depends on the game of course, but could be also that you have to have just luck.
Right, let's get 5 blocks here so I can fucking waste all of the time I saved. That would be great, thank you.
People that are playing more often than others statistically are,
Il veut te protéger. Il a vu des
yeah,
trucs.
being the
Thank you
lucky
in
ones,
advance,
the
game.
ones that got
Because
rewarded
it's
in
most
the
likely
end.
gonna happen. Minimum of 3 blocks. I'm calling it
So
right
you
now.
could also call
And we
that
will count together.
putting
Hey,
effort into
XC.
the game.
Polly te dit pas merci.
Thanks for the Joe.
I mean, you deserve it if you played it compared
I
to
like
someone
how Tommy starts walking faster
multiple times more.
right after they split. It's funny.
Not only 10 times, but 100 times.
Alright,
There's
let's lose
also
all the
kind
time.
of effort that you have to put in to make that happen. So yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm more the skill guy. I don't have the patience, or not. I'm not one to lean on being lucky. Just rely on that. I mean, it's like playing. It's like gambling, right? You can lose and lose and lose and lose over again. I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not intriguing or fun to me. I want to control the situation, and when I'm doing bad, or then it's my fault and not because I'm unlucky. I can deal much better with something like that. Oh yeah, and let's see how fast he is able to knock out the guys. Shit.
Si tu me touches, t'es mort.
So basically every guy with 2 hits. Oh, it's so cool. So
1 block? What is this run?
yeah, that.
I don't think this is gold, but it's fucking.
Here you can. He
What
said
is this
it
place?
himself. It was basically in that scene. It was about
Yeah, it's not a
luck.
gold, but what?
He could
Excuse
be
me.
unlucky, and the guy could have blocked his
Yeah,
punches. So
imagine
but
if I got fucking poly skip now.
that
Dude,
didn't happen. So
148
he saved
pace.
a lot of time.
Like legit, I'm not kidding.
Ces enfoirés sont peut-être encore sur notre territoire.
And now I think he's realizing that this run maybe could be the.
But it's not gonna happen, of course.
Bon, quand t'auras fini avec Vinny,
Maybe not the
on
perfect,
voir à
but the
Chinatown.
one run that's
On va aller botter des culs.
beat the former world record. That can beat it. And yeah, it did. As we've.
I'm already
already
nervous.
know.
What the fuck? It's only fucking 40 minutes in, and I'm already. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timer resetting is pretty game, I would say. Already. If it wasn't for that, to be honest, I wouldn't be beating him, because that would be fucking awfully boring. Besides that, there's not really much anything like game breaking.
Lâche-le un peu, il est amoureux.
I'm a fan of watching speedruns like
But
that,
yeah, this thing makes the run really enjoyable.
where you don't see all the time freaky stuff. Just good, just someone who can play the game.
I have 20 seconds to save on the Saint and the Sinner, so if I get poly skip here, which is like 15 seconds faster, and I will get a new gold on Saint and the Sinner, this is legit 140 days.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say, where the player is able to play the game very well, and
Yeah,
can
you should
see the
try it
skill.
on classic, bro. That's unplayable. I mean, it's not that hard, but you know, you really need to hide, like take cover.
Let's for the moment mute him, because I guess now it's talking time, because you can't do much right here. Poly skip could be an indication that there is some sort of minor glitch or minor bug, or not must not be a bug, and all something that you in the game mechanics that you can abuse to yeah, skip a part of the level. And because of the question marks behind it, that could be such a situation where you, yeah, basically have to depend completely on being lucky or unlucky. And yeah, you see it is already about 30 minutes, about 40 minutes. So imagine having a perfect run and ruining that skip that you can't control, or that you have no control over. And you're already invested 40 minutes into the game. It could be frustrating if you do that, if you did yeah, if you're doing that more than, I don't know, if you're doing that really often, like 100 times or so. Yeah, but then again, the game itself, the run itself, is not it's not that like the players who run the game, they always start from beginning, and if they learn a run, they will load specific segments and trying them over and over again before running the game completely as a whole. How fast? What the fuck? Let's turn on the volume again. He basically is just running. Yeah, okay. You don't have to fight. You just have to get to the end in order to trigger that cutscene. Don't let the punks escape. Maybe he's let's see. Just get ahead of them. Now they are behind us, but they are driving a certain route, so sorry, you don't have to follow them. You just if you already know where they will go and how they will drive, which route they will. But you see, now the timer has yeah, it's the clock is the timer is 0, reached 0, but the mission is still not.
Please. Don't fucking troll me now. Don't fucking troll me now.
It's
please.
That's the skip, I guess. So.
All right, we good.
Yeah.
Jesus
he
Christ.
Already.
What?
And it worked. He already drove to the spot where their route will take them eventually. So.
What?
And now he saved a fair amount of time. 1 minute 7 seconds. That is huge.
This is a free gold. This chapter is fucking. I have like 10 seconds to save here. Against my gold, by the way.
So, but you will see.
I cannot believe this run already. If I fuck up here,
there is much
it's not a huge deal because what
much
the
left
fuck
of
is
the
this
run, and I mean, basically a little bit more than.
Like, do you know how unlikely is that poly skip there?
Yeah. So it was
it's like fucking 5% even.
Get lucky. Okay, let's pause it here. By
almost 147.
47:20. And we will play we will watch, not play, we will watch the rest tomorrow before we are starting the stream. And I mean, before we're starting to play the second part of Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. And so this is a smooth transition, I guess. We are experiencing the first game, and can talk a little bit about it before entering in the second one. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed so far. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more speedruns. I mean, I'm fine with it. We can stream them and I can comment on it, or we could watch it together and watch streams of speedruns or VODs of speedruns that are that got commentary. So can do that also. Just let me know, and yeah. All right, then have a good one, sleep well, and yeah, I hope you stick around and we'll see each other tomorrow. Until then,